In the background of your promo?
Yeah.
It's going to be kind of busy, but we'll see what it sounds like. Okay. All right, I can probably...
There's truth to different voice, different perspective.
So we're all gauging our truth.
Well, it was really interesting to me that you reached out of all people because I didn't have a lot of friends at Roosevelt. It seemed like I may have, but I didn't keep in touch with many people. So it was nice that it was someone familiar bringing this awesome idea to me.
How was that for you in your life and the things that you're dealing with? How living in those communities, what kind of effects did you see personally between whether you or your loved ones,
Sure.
You're a mother with children, you
Oh,
served
yes.
in the Navy, so...
It affects me in every way that you just mentioned. I'm a mother. I have 2 sons, and I'm a melanated woman, so I know that I have a lot of power within myself mentally to spread the word and awareness about things that are going on right now in the world. I'm the only daughter that my father has, only child that he has, and he raised me on his own, without a wife, without a mother even, and raised me to be very strong and to be very aware of my surroundings. I've been in a lot of different environments. I've lived in many different countries, all types of different cities and social environments, and I think that this group is going to be a good outlet for me to share my experiences and to share my perspective and where I stand as a woman in this society of 2018.
I love our engineer. This is going to be great.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
We are the Ma'at Quorum, here to bridge the gap between you and the existing truths that run our society.
We go live every Saturday starting April 7th, 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. That doesn't work. Your friend AJ, partner AJ, I'm sorry, experienced some, I guess, a hectic encounter with an officer where it resulted in her being shot. And when she heard about this, when you told me, you told her about it, she wanted to be directly involved.
I believe what makes me want to be involved in the Ma'at Quorum is what it stands for. It stands for, law and order and balance, and that's something that I actually believe in. I'm hoping to accomplish voices to be heard. People that are actually, yearning for, their voice to be heard. There are people who want to be heard in a different type of way, as far as what they believe, like as far as police reform. That subject should be very pushed in our community. If we are going to look forward to like a peaceful future, I believe that that's something very important that we can all come together and.
The legislations that blanket law enforcement when they commit, let's say, when they commit when they commit crimes, when they shoot people, for crying out loud, when they shoot
I hear
people.
you.
Sometimes you gotta break it all down. When they shoot people, when they shouldn't shoot people. All right.
That's
Straight
right.
up.
My very best friend and partner in life was shot by the police, and I didn't understand anything, and I won't get too deep into the details because she has her own story to tell, but it affected me in a different way because I wasn't raised to be afraid of authority. I was actually working as a military police officer before I met her, so knowing that authority is necessary to create structure in most environments in society, I didn't walk in fear, even though I'm a mixed race woman or I have brown skin, or my father is an African American man. I didn't walk in fear of authority until I seen someone that meant no harm to anyone be directly injured, and her whole life had to change because of it. And nobody from the police station came to say I'm sorry. Nobody came to reach out to say that let things get better. And that was just the tip of the iceberg for my awakening, understanding that I do live in a society where we're separated in any way that there can be a separation. Anything that makes you stand out will put you into a category with other people that stand out in that way. So I want it to be accessible to my community, to my peers, to you, to everyone that may have a question or have a different understanding about something, so that I can be enlightened, so that I can also bring insight too, because I've been to other countries where there were no brown people, and there weren't very many, or there was a cultural difference, or there was a religious difference. I've been in those places and I've still succeeded.
Yeah.
So I know that it's possible.
We go live every Saturday starting April
Let's go
7th,
from there. We'll take
10
it from there.
a.m. to 11 p.m.
I'm gonna have to write a lot more.
My name is Art Fusco. I became part of this because long ago I was a master at arms in the Navy, which was basically military police. I had a problem with the culture, policing culture, and I used to think that it was just my station or whatever, and it took a little while to learn that it was actually a nationwide problem. When these rise of police killings hit San Diego, I decided I wanted to get involved. My hope in joining this is to somehow establish police reform in San Diego and hopefully push other places around the country to enact their own reforms.
We are where we're at in society today because of information sharing. We must share information as well. We must share
Right.
visions as well, share ideas, and have it be heard from our perspective, not perspectives that have already created conglomerate monopolies.
Right.
What can be said? It turns society into a programmed cycle of we show you what is going on, you show us your reaction, you forget about it until we show it to you again, and then that's what it becomes. Now it's just the money making.
Sure. And also
So-
the programming is a way for any powerful entity to control a large group of people. In order for there to be some kind of population control or even getting all these people to drive on the street instead of the sidewalk, they have to instill this programming into us.
And there are no sense of resolution. It's just this is what's happening, leave it at that. Nobody knows how to figure out information or go to a place where information of that nature can be discussed.
So once you tap into what you truly know, you know how to stand up for yourself. You know how to ask questions. You do know how to wonder. But when you have that availability, accessibility to people like us in the Quorum that want to give that insight, we're not just waiting to suck it from other people. We want to give answers. We want to give accessibility. We want to give that insight, you know. And I feel like through the Quorum, we'll be able to reach a lot of people that don't know what they have right under their nose.
We go live every Saturday starting April 7th, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. KBLK Radio. Make sure you log on to kblkradio.com to experience the powerful perceptions of our collective truths. Go to Mercy.
Okay.
That is
That's
very
right.
powerful. We're not just talking about what we think. We're talking about what we want you to know. Therefore, we have a responsibility to make sure that what we're saying is fact-oriented.
That's right.
And the
Accuracy.
statistics are accurate, not just some made-up mumbo-jumbo that I decide to spew out in my 5 minutes of perception deliverance.
That's right.
Or civil deliverance.
Or
at the
something
end.
we've been taught based off of history. Sometimes that repeat, that tape, that movie that's been going was never good from the beginning. And if we're able to create our own future, make our own history, and show everyone the actual proactive actions of what we can do, then it will just bring everyone together, regardless of color, regardless of religion and race. It has to be about dynamic thought. Like, we have to actually get out there, take these things that we're saying, take these experiences and apply them to people's lives so that they can continue to feel it and pass that on and have a whole new set of understanding instead of programming of someone else's.
One thing, this morning when I was here, when King Mel got here, first thing I thought about was Motown. It was a place where so many people around it had talents, and they had no way of projecting those talents to the world.
Time capsule.
Exactly.
They captured it, they recorded it.
It's still floating in space, and they
Yes.
were able to do that and project it out, and it changed a nation. It became
Right.
the beginning of popular culture just because people could get that perspective out there. Now, we can do it in music. What about our perspectives in intellectual speaking and understanding?
That's absolutely true.
We can do the same thing. I saw this place and I thought of Motown, and I said, you know what, this might not be music we're creating,
This is our Motown.
but this is our Motown
That's
for,
right.
for verbal delivering of our situations that are going on. And it gives me a lot of hope, and it gives me a lot of motivation to wake up when I'm tired. I'm done working my 9 to 5, and I have to worry about Quorum and I can type this. It just gives me that motivation.
That's
The jitters.
Everybody got the jitterbugs.
Yes.
I'm streaming live, so y'all see that.
Good thing we're live over the air, you know?
Where are you live at?
I'm live on Facebook.
Oh, no, really?
What's up, Facebook?
We're having fun here, Facebook.
Yes, indeed. What is your opponents of racial binding?
Oh, my ethnicity.
There you go.
Yes. I come from migrants mostly. My mother, her family came out here her father from Spain, her mother from Mexico, but they traveled to Mexico closer to the United States for work. My father also, him and his father, they moved around for work. My father's African American and Native American, Blackfoot from the Midwest.
Wow.
And they travel for work. So I come from people that will make those necessary changes for a better life with their offspring. That's what they did. They moved around so that they can find a better life. And thank God, two different types of people, two different families coming together. I was able to be born from my mother and father.
Wow.
So.
And I'm glad for that. And one thing that, the Maya Quorum has, we have a variation of different backgrounds and ethnicities.
That's right.
You have me, I was born in Africa. I don't think my genetic line from the beginning of time has left the motherland.
Very good.
So we have Kat, who is Spanish American.
Oh, Brazilian.
She's Brazilian American. I take that back.
Catherine Mendoza, and I got involved because we're as part of Cop Watch. We're the boots on the ground, and we report what we see for the city of San Diego. We're basically the ones in the trenches, giving the report backs. Connecting what's happening on a national level is absolutely happening on a local level. It's the same racial profiling. I want San Diego to be same racial profiling, same killer cops on the street, making the county of San Diego aware that we need to lift up our own and all the other cities that we're in solidarity with. The first starts at home. We want to preserve lives while they're still living. We mourn for the dead, such as Alfred Alongo, but we also fight like hell for the living. And preventing what the police do is very vital to the existence and legacy of our community.
It comes together real smooth.
We have my fiance, Shasha, who has definitely been my backbone and always there.
I love her.
Yeah, because I have to drag her out of bed and the baby's there. We just had a newborn about 2.5 weeks ago. This guy's already met Reverend Al Sharpton. He's already been at press conferences. He's at the radio show working today. And then we have Charlie. Uncle Charlie. The guy also has a wonderful background. He's definitely going all the way back to the Acholi bloodline. He came to America in the 70s. I think he'll speak more about that on his own cut. So I'll leave it at that. I guess the point is we have a great deal of different perceptions from different nationalities that have been bunched together. We are the voice of the melting pot.
That's right. And that's where we live. Being here in the coastal region is definitely a melting pot. And there's a lot of topics to cover nationwide, but more than anything, it's going to be important to be right here in San Diego, making differences and getting all types of reform happening and answering questions. I think that some people like to avoid going the route that sounds most legal because there's an easier way, and I think this way is a nice opportunity for us to discuss things and have topics that other people may be thinking of, they're just too scared to ask.
Yeah,
So.
And there'll be a call-in session. I think about 15 minutes, 12 to 15 minutes, where anyone can call in and discuss some of the things they have in mind and ask questions from different perspectives to be delivered to you. I can speak to you, Art can speak to you from his Navy background, she can speak to you from her Navy background, Charlie can speak to you from his
Experienced
background.
So that's going to be a lot of different perspectives.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely